There's something about her when she's on the court. She's just a gamer.
I can't do my job without her.
She's one of our hardest workers. I mean, she pushes the bar.
She just works really hard to be the best at what she's doing.
She is very competitive. She works very hard.
It's not about you, it's about your work ethic, and you can control how hard you work and what you're going to leave on the court. There's only one time and place for that game, and so I want to walk off the court feeling that I gave it my best.
Madeline is a very hard worker. She's very passionate about what she does, and she will do what she needs to do until she nails it, until she gets it. So I would say persistent. Madeline is very persistent. She just works really hard to be the best at what she's doing.
Her work ethic, she leads by example. She always has a little bit of humor to her too, which is nice. And so, but at the end of the day, you know, she garners so much respect just because of how hard she works, and it never stops.
Maddie is a very great teammate. She is very competitive. She works very hard. She has a lot of determination, and I say she hustles a lot in and off the court.
Madeline works very hard, and people follow her by the example that she puts out. I wouldn't say that Madeline is overly vocal, but you see Madeline work as hard as she does and want to be as excellent and play like she does. You have no choice but to follow her, because that's just the level of expectation that she sets when she steps onto the floor.
I would like to say I'm a leader by leading through example. I'm not the most vocal person on the court, but I like to go out and just work my butt off, so I hope that that is kind of an example in the way that I play.
She's one of our hardest workers in the gym and well, I would say in the classroom too, and in the weight room. I mean, she pushes the bar, she pushes the pace in the weight room, she leads the middles group.
I would say as a middle, it's a lot for me because I'm obviously younger than her, so she can kind of put a great leadership for me and help me when I need help. As a player, Maddie gives me a lot of advice. If I'm doing something wrong, she tends to tell me what I'm doing wrong because she kind of looks at me as like a younger player. So if I need help, she is quick to say, do this, switch to this. If she just sees something wrong that I'm doing, or if I'm even doing something good, she points it out.
I mean, she's obviously very competitive, and you can see that when her sisters come around. You know, there is a little bit of their part of our program as well. They have a relationship with a lot of our girls and are welcome, you know, around, and you see it come out a little bit more with them. But yeah, there's something about her when she's on the court. She's just a gamer, right? And so I would say she's extremely competitive. There's so many great things I could say about the Williams family, the whole entire family. They're genuine, they're caring, they're loyal, right? They're the biggest supporters of not only Maddie and her sisters, but biggest supporters of the program. You know, and I think that just carries into the strength in Maddie's character.
My dad played football, and so I love watching him watch football because he has a lot of comments and he rewinds everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. So just kind of I've never actually sat down and learned stuff, but I learned it just from listening. And then even talking about me in sports, it's he's been there, he's been under pressure, and so it's nice to be able to lean on him and kind of hey, what are your tips for, you know, playing under pressure, and yeah, just kind of how did you handle certain situations, and you know, how can I grow, how can I learn?
Grant, obviously having the fantastic career that he has had, you know, he's been around, he understands the coaching side of it, but he also understands that it's his daughter out there competing. And so he's able to kind of approach it from both lenses, which is really nice. I enjoy being able to talk a little bit of shop with him sometimes, you know, when I do get to catch him maybe pre or post match.
He's always instilled values in me and my siblings of just working hard and working for your teammates, working for your coaches, working for, you know, playing for the Lord. It's always been a core value for me, living for Christ wherever I am, and that's why I try to work hard. It's more than just about me, it's about living for Him. And so I knew when I got here I wanted to be involved, just to have a support group, even outside of volleyball, because sometimes it's hard, and that's a lot of people, that's their only place to go is their athletics team. And so my team is great, but I knew that I wanted a support group outside of that as well, just to learn different things and grow. I'm in a discipleship group, and so I've been in a couple different ones. Usually there's a new one for each semester. And so it's just a small group of girls, and we just study the Bible together, and we have a leader, so I have a mentor, and it's about networking and a support group and just learning and growing together and trying to live for Christ. I think they really just instill you with the value that you need to live for other people. It's not about you in the same way. Sometimes it's hard in athletics to just not focus on yourself because you want to do the best you can. You want to get the show, the cameras, all that, and it's like, really I should be living for Christ and playing like He's the only one that matters, and at the end of the day, like, that's eternal. It's not about you, it's about your work ethic, and you can control, how hard you work and what you're going to leave on the court. And so, yeah, just kind of like values.
I mean, middles have to, they got to be a part of the rally in multiple different facets, and so sometimes based on, if we're in system and all that, we may not be able to have her scoring as much as we'd like to, or may not be able to give her those opportunities. So her being able to block is an opportunity for her to cultivate points for the team.
She puts down a lot of the balls, so she's very important to like our offense and our defense. She's pretty consistent considering with the setter and with other middle, so I'd say she's pretty important to the offense. With the way she can put the ball away, it helps the defense, so like we score more points and it's easier for us to keep moving.
We have a lot of talks about like, hey, here's the scouting report, like how are we going to execute this like in our position. So I think that's really fun, and I'm close with those girls. And then Melina being a libero, it's like, hey, like talk to me, what do you need from the front row, kind of a thing.
She makes me look good, and so yeah, sure, her role is crucial to the team, and yeah, I can't do my job without her, and so I rely on her a lot to help me get where I need to be.
I would say I learned this kind of just being an underclassman from the girls that were above me, where you can just share kind of your experiences so that you're ready and you've prepared the other girls.
When she got here, she had a great mentor in Kasikawa, and she's carrying that over into her younger middles, right? Kind of passing down the torch to them as she's, coming towards the end of her career here.
I would say it's more of an experience, like knowledge, and so I can now talk to them and Kylie and Jamie and be like, hey, so this game is usually tough because this team is, good in this area, so here's what we need to stay focused on.
So it's been a great opportunity to watch each other grow, and Madeline has definitely stepped up where she needs to. She took on a big role early on her freshman year, and she's just continued to take on the learner mindset and grow every time she comes to practice.
She's going to have teams trap her, right? She's going to have teams commit to her, and so her challenge is continuing to find ways to score, and part of that is that blocking side of her game.
Madeline, the way she moves to the block helps our defense, backcourt defense, where I play, line up so easily behind her, and so then we're able to turn that into an offensive run and set her up to maybe get her the kills.
I think of Missouri State. That was a lot of fun this past year, and actually the year before. I also would say maybe it's when I had a dig like after I served, and I think it was a game-winning point against SIU, and it was just like middles don't dig, so the fact that I got it was honestly funny, but like it worked, and that was the last point of the game, so I just will never forget that.
Great up by Madeline Williams, the middle.
You can see her team getting excited. She's usually a hitter.
And that point goes to the Sycamores. That'll be the end of the match. This fourth set ended 25-18. And so for Hannah, I'm Jill saying so long from the ISU Arena in Terre Haute, Indiana, where the final score is 4-1, Sycamores.
I'm just excited to play again. It's been a while, obviously, and we've been able to play against each other, so that's been a lot of fun, but I'm ready to like work together to play somebody else. So honestly, just excited to be on the court and compete and just get after it with the girls.